Bartail has been one of the persons who's watched all the shows. I talk to him on a regular basis in the EverQuest Next IRC channel.
What we saw with, Kunark for EQ2, you did those 400 quests, you did all the content, and at the end of it, the world wasn't changed.
Yeah, I'm Phantom X. I do social media and write articles for EQ Nexus.
For the Fall of Bastion, there was a very definite, okay, this is where your story is going to fit into the world.
Listen, fluffy looking bear, thank you. Listen, I went and I killed a dragon, and then 2 drops of whiskey hit my face, and I willed this manly beard into... Cal was raising, yes!
And check it. All right, hey. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Welcome to Evercast. This is episode number 67, which we have titled "You Are Not Prepared." I'm one of your regular weekly normal hosts, Tannlin. With me are, to my left, Caeleste, and to my right, Flattuss. We are a podcast that likes to focus on EverQuest Next and Landmark when we can. In the meantime, we talk about everything fun and exciting that we are playing in the world of online gaming and MMOs, where we try to connect you with the game that you play. Hi guys, what's up?
We're talking about Warcraft.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
That's new for us.
Well, it's not exactly new. It's just that this is the first time we've had a show where we've talked pretty much, exclusively about a particular MMO that isn't Landmark or EverQuest Next.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. And for the new people coming in and watching, welcome, and thank you, and stay a while and listen as we talk some games today.
We will be ranty and happy and depressed and funny
and we hope to engage you
and preferably entertain you.
And engage in an interactive conversation with each other and the audience to let you know a little bit about, obviously, the next World of Warcraft expansion titled Legion. For those, like I said, joining us for the first time, since we're switching up the formats, we went on for 2 years, just over our 2-year anniversary, where we talked only about EverQuest Next and Landmark. We're opening up a little bit to other MMOs because we feel that the Landmark development has slowed down as they focus on EverQuest Next, and the EverQuest Next development team, we asked them for more information, and they're not able to provide as much information as we can consume. And that's the honest truth. We can consume way more lore and information and gameplay stuff than they can give out right now.
Really, really quick, somebody said that I think I fixed it because I forget that every time I log in, even though I have my mic muted, it automatically turns back on. So hopefully that fixed it.
Possibly, as they take care of that. We're planning on talking today. Just to give you a little heads up. We're going to be talking definitely the new expansion that was announced. We're going to be talking a good chunk of Draenor and our thoughts on that, and with some things we saw from different interviews we have read and listened to, and some things we're going to be picking up. We'll be discussing all of that. We'll be discussing the changes to the classes and the new zones, and discussing where Blizzard may be going wrong, and hopefully things will make right with Legion, and hopefully things we'd like to change. And hopefully Caeleste is working. Now say something. Hi.
I already did, but they're still saying that I'm echoey and reverby, and I don't. Sorry, guys.
Possibly. Say something one more time, and I'll look and see if where I'm picking you up at.
Watermelon, 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 watermelon.
No, I'm not picking your mic directly. I'm picking you up from the other one. I'll type it in the thing. Anyway, keep going, Tannlin.
All right. And if I'm reverbing, I apologize. We'll get that looked at. Yeah. You see, everybody, all three of us hear the same thing, and we sound fine. And there's maybe downloading Windows 10 and updating TeamSpeak the hour or two before the show was a bad idea. Not that I I downloaded Windows 10 earlier in the week, but I just updated TeamSpeak because that's what it told me I needed to do. All right. So a little bit of ECast news, as we do at the beginning of every show. We have a schedule. Now that we are free to talk about other things, I thought that it would be fair to the audience to let you guys know what we will be talking about, and when we'll be talking about. This week, of course, Worlds of Warcraft Legion. Next week, when Lucy comes back, we're going to be talking about Sword Coast Legends, and specifically about the game mastering tools, and we're going to try and tie that into what we hope to see for Landmark, because we want to see game master type tools for Landmark as well. 2 weeks after that,
we're going to be talking. Let's say we did Sword Coast Legends.
Project Gorgon. We're going to be doing Project Gorgon on the last day of its Kickstarter. So if you haven't heard anything about Project Gorgon, immediately after the show, I tell you, go to Kickstarter, check it out. It's a very old school MMO with a lot of the features that we want to see, but it's basically trying to give us back that old school MMO RPG feel with a lot of systems that are very complicated that we want to have thrown into an MMO. And then on the 30th, Flattuss, what are we talking about?
On the 30th, we're going to be talking about WildStar prepares for their free-to-play launch. So if WildStar is something that interests you, you've bought the game, played it, and it just wasn't... you just didn't feel like spending another $15 a month. Maybe you were playing WoW or Final Fantasy 14 or something else. It is going to be opening up, and they're preparing for this year. So that is, we're looking at soon, maybe a couple months, maybe in the fall, we will see WildStar open up to everyone. If you have a box copy, you get some bonuses, so go check out what you get. You also get bonuses if you've been subbed for WildStar. So go take a look at what that might be. If you're looking at getting a box copy right now, I've been seeing them around $10. So sometimes people like to jump in, get a month in, and try to get some of that like veteran rewards in. $10 is not bad, and you get a free month included. So go try it out if you haven't. If you have the $10, go throw it down. Go try WildStar for a little bit. If not, wait till it's free to play and go hop in then. And then for the following week, Labor Day weekend, we will not be streaming. We're going to take a break and hang out with our families and friends and relax and game ourselves on a Sunday night. So don't don't wait around for us on that Sunday because I will
Yeah,
probably be
Try not to miss us too much.
not too much.
And then I thought that I would throw out there, since we're not covering Landmark as exclusively as we had been in the past, I wanted to let you guys know where else you can find Landmark coverage. Every morning from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, there's a Twitch show called The Morning Brew with Landmark Explorer. It's kind of like a like Legendary Neurotoxin used to do. He did contents and creation. Morning Brew is basically looking at the builds that other people are doing in Landmark and just showing them off, highlighting them, showcasing them, talking about them. And then on Saturdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, that's when they do the monster build in Landmark. And I believe, I haven't actually had a chance to catch one of these, but it's kind of like a, they announce that what the theme of that show is, the theme of that build, and then they spend that afternoon building it from the start up. And then there is one other streams podcast called Let's Talk Landmark. That's on Wednesdays at 7:30 Eastern Time. I'm not exactly sure on the specifics because I hear that they rotated their days around a little bit, and so I haven't caught them as often as I would like to because of that. But there is Landmark coverage that's out there if you want to go look for it. Again, that's the Morning Brew, Monster Build, and Let's Talk Landmark. So that's it for the Landmark coverage. On our YouTube video, we got a question asked, and it was a very thoughtful question, and so I thought that we would cover it and talk a little bit. Instead of talking about just the games that you're playing for fun, maybe you could try to analyze what makes them fun and what could be learned from them to make EQN a better game and tie it back into the main goal. I have one specifically for EQN that I want to get back to when we start talking about Warcraft a little bit more. And when we do, I will definitely highlight it because, and Flattuss and I were talking about it a little bit before the show. I'm not sure if Caeleste caught that conversation. But here is one thing that I think that Daybreak needs to do immediately that is a fun feature, and that is integrate their launcher. Blizzard has one for Hearthstone, for StarCraft 2, for Diablo, for Overwatch now. Trion has one. I forget how to pronounce that. Trion has one. They call it the Glyph launcher. That's where you can launch Rift, Arcage, Trove, and their new game will be added, of course, once they get
Devilian.
And I would love to see that type of support for Daybreak games. Give us one launcher where we could launch into PlanetSide 2 or EverQuest 2 or whatever at Landmark. And then in that launcher, you can highlight videos right into them so that, like, if you've got something major going on in PlanetSide 2, people can see that, and you can expose people to a lot of the games. Throw the store up on there so that people can go right to it from your launcher. Let them know what type of sales you have going on.
Yeah, and the chat's the big thing. I think chatting from the launcher itself is nice. If you're not in game or you're in a different game, you can chat with your friends regardless of what game they are located in.
The Glyph launcher for Trion does not have that yet, but I even think that Blizzard can improve on this function of their launcher. Because like Steam has it where you can create groups of people and that you can talk to your friends or to your gaming community no matter what game they're in. I would love to see that type of thing for even Blizzard games, so that if you've got like 5 or 6 friends and one's playing one's playing Hearthstone on the toilet and one's playing StarCraft 2 and the other one's in World of Warcraft, and you can talk to all of them at the same time with one message. And I'm not talking about like a broadcast message. I'm talking about like a conversation amongst the people that are in the group. So guys, I have one other thing that I think is fun about MMOs that I would love to see in EQ next, but I thought I'd throw it open. But I don't want to hog the spotlight.
You want me to talk about it?
I'll
talk about it because I agree with you. Sprawling dungeons that are not on rails. Oh my! This
dungeon exploration.
Yep. And I agree with Tannlin that I would love to spend, an hour to hour and a half in a dungeon exploring it, finding the little nooks and crannies, the secret areas, see if there's treasure, hidden treasure caches and stuff, and remove the mini map and then do a Ghost of War where it's where it's just like you go in, it's all is blocked out, and as you start walking through, you unveil the map as you go. I think that would be great. I think that bigger dungeons and more reason to be in those dungeons would be fantastic. Because I would love to reason to go back, like, hey, you missed this, or like, oh, dude, I heard there was a secret area, and you need to go piece this thing that out in the game world to go get, like, that unlocks a secret area. That'd be so much fun. Like, I would love to spend time in dungeons. I feel right now that dungeons are just a way to boost help level of a character, and I don't think they should be that. They should be, the content needs to be worth doing, not seen as like, oh, I need to get to level 85, and the fastest way to do that is by slamming like these 3 dungeons over and over until I get that.
Or my cap is 150 points, and I get like 200 for every run, so I need to chain run like 5 of these to get it done, because it changes your mindset. Because instead of exploring, you're like, hey, come on, man, what's the holdup? Pull.
Oh, you mean like what you do to me when I'm taking?
Well, now you know why it happened.
Well, I'm an overgeared healer, so I know that I can get the tank out of a lot of problems that they think are going to be problems. Like,
I'm an overgeared tank. I am sorry, Afterlife too, but he still tries to tell me how to tank in it.
Faster.
Just saying, like, hey, babe, if you want a tank, bro.
real quick, Mel Turn Chat says the internet ruins that unless it's a procedural dungeon. I mean, it depends on how you create your content. If you create your content in such a way where it needs to be explored regardless if the internet's there or not, and if the internet just tells me loot tables, it's useless. Like, I still have to go and explore that dungeon and look at the map. Add-ons are not... I don't think even add-ons would help, because if it's Ghost of War, they can have the mini-map up there, but it's not going to... Unless someone downloads it and puts a picture there, and you're like, oh, it's over here, then it kind of ruins it.
I remember back, because now Warcraft has maps for all of their dungeons, but even their maps are really, like, and I'm thinking Upper Blackrock Spire, like, because it's such a three-dimensional map, it's very hard, even when you have a map, to know where you're at and where to go and where all of those caverns are going. And even when I was playing, like, when I first started playing, like, you could go to the internet and you could look at a map of, like, Wailing Caverns, but, like, that dungeon at low levels, you were like, are we going the right way? Is this the way to go? But that was only, like, the first, and I played through Wailing Caverns a lot. The first 20 times, I might have got lost a couple of times, but these days, like, no mini-map, no problem. I know how to get through. But that's because of that, like, that experience. Like, I've experienced that dungeon so many times. And I don't think if you make the dungeon complex enough, I don't think that the internet can totally solve the problem. But what the internet could do, though, is like, hey, I got lost in this place. How do I find X? That you could find that.
For, like, those crazy Tannlin that draw maps when they don't have a map for a location. Sit down.
Oh, we might have gone. Are we dropping?
No.
Almost did. We almost did. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
I have it around here somewhere.
Internet?
Yeah. That was only for Vanguard, and that's because, like, Vanguard, there was not, like, 1,000 people all trying to get through the same dungeon, so it was like, you know, if one person creates the map and puts it up on the internet, thousands of people had it with Vanguard. Like if I put a map of a dungeon up, like 10 other people might actually know where to go and get it and look at it.
So are you guys really seriously suggesting like getting rid of maps in games?
Hell yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would like.
So
I not entirely, but I would like to see something that I don't want to entirely get rid of the map. I would like an overarching map, not like a precise like this is over here, that's over here. I would like to have my character draw out the map, or have to pick up like a secondary profession, like a cartographer sort of profession that allows me to like view vistas and stuff like that, so I get a better scope of the land and I can understand, and then when I find secrets I mark it off on my map as a little secret area and stuff like that. Like that would be cool. Like that I think would be great. It makes the land more alive and makes me want to go explore that land more than just like, oh, I gotta go walk into this area. Oh, look, I unlocked all these things. Look, that's where I need to go for the quest, because that's where it is.
Okay, so I don't have a problem with like losing predominantly the map in game, and I understand that like the first time in a location, really, why do you have a map? Don't get me wrong, I get that. Let me just say that as a tank, it is really, really nerve-wracking to walk into a new dungeon, not know anything about it, not know where the fuck to go. Because it's one of the things that causes their players in the dungeon to drop, is because the tank isn't familiar enough with it, and maybe that's a player problem, not a map problem. I get that, but as a tank, predominantly, it's slightly nerve-wracking to go into a new place and not have something to look at.
I would say when you're playing with friends, that shouldn't be as big of a problem. I've told the people before, if I'm playing a healer and we're leveling up together in a dungeon, like, dude, go as long as you guys all stay in one area like together, so that I don't have like, you don't outrange my heals or line of sight my heals. They like, dude, I don't care. You know, go whatever direction that you want. And when I was playing with new people that were exploring a game for the first time, it's like, play a tank, and I'll be your healer, and we'll let the DPS drop if they want to, or bring in DPS their friends, so that they understand that we're not like racing through it and we're just really trying to explore it. The reason why I race through content in Warcraft is because making the most efficient use of my time, because it is the faster you can do things, the more that you can do it. There is no exploration. I don't want to see the same things over and over again, because it becomes really repetitious. I just want to get through it so that I can move on to whatever I want to do next.
You got WoW down to a science.
What's that?
I said you got WoW down to a science.
Kind of. But see, the thing is that I don't like challenge modes, and that's what challenge modes are supposed to be for. Like, you know, well, the realm best time is, 18 minutes, 23 seconds. Can you get it in 22 seconds? I'm not, that's a bit too much for me.
That's more about...
Yeah, he's not that elitist.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, the other parts of the game you have down to a science. Like, the challenge mode dungeons, those are more of a... Those are the people that, like to speedrun, and they just turned it into a way to get fun, shiny things.
I like the idea of them. Just don't like them in practice. Like and actually that's what it comes down to. It's practice. Like when you first sit down, because they're tuned a little bit differently, that you have to like practice. Like we do this, and then we do this, and then we do this, and that's cool. But I don't. Yeah.
And you learn where you can cut corners so you can save on time and stuff like we don't have to pull that mob. We can cut around them this way and just bypass them and go straight for the boss. Yeah.
Everybody, this is where we use our invisibility potion so that we can bypass that group of mobs right there, because they're not necessary to complete the dungeon on challenge mode. And that's where I'm like, nope. I see, and that's where personally I'd rather just pull the group and DPS them down. Like AoE all the things, like pull everything and blow it all up.
Blow it all up!
Except when it comes to exploration, then it's like, oh hey, let's go down that passageway. We haven't been down that way before. And then somebody's like, oh, I heard that this bad boss that kills everybody on their, unless they know everything about it. I'm like, all right, well, we can try it out at least once, right?
Yeah, a good example is like go walk into a dungeon, like a Draenor dungeon, or even a Pandaria dungeon, and then go walk in like Wailing Caverns. That's a good example. Go back, even though it doesn't matter high level or not. Go walk into Wailing Caverns. It's got different hallways. There's different way you got to jump over to like things to go down different pathways to go
It's got a jumping part to it.
It does. It does. Yeah.
Moradon would be the better example. Because not only
Moradon's, yeah.
Because Wailing Caverns only has the one entrance, and in reality, there's two wings. There's a left wing and a right wing, and then when you've cleared both wings, then you can go into the center. But until the wings are cleared, there's no use going into the center. But Moradon is a better example because they have the orange entrance and the purple entrance, and then this is back before they did the changes, and now it's. Instead of being this one huge multifaceted instance, it's like 3 miniature instances thrown together. It's like you start here and you end here, and I don't really care for that. But yes, we like dungeons. I like dungeon crawling. Shall we move on to the current expansion, Warlords of Draenor?
Yeah, please.
Let's
do
the worst expansion that Blizzard has put out yet.
Nope.
All right. I and Flattuss agree that Warlords of Draenor is the worst expansion of World of Warcraft so far.
It's not even an expansion.
Oh.
It's not an expansion. It's half of the fucking expansion. Therefore, is not the worst expansion ever. That prize goes to Mists of Pandaria.
Cataclysm
is the worst expansion.
I love Mists of Pandaria.
I do too. I really love Mists of Pandaria. I love Pandaria.
And I will say why.
They had made it any more racist.
Racist stereotypes.
Could they have made that X-Pack any more racist? Don't get me wrong. I love the art style. I like pandas. I know that they're not totally out of it. Oh, Cat was the worst. Sorry. All right. That one wasn't that great either. Fine. What was the best expansion? Then we'll bitch about the worst one. We don't even need to go into reasons. Just what was the best expansion for you, Flattuss? What was your favorite?
BC.
Wrath of the Lich King.
Really,
Burning
Wrath?
Crusade.
I really think Burning Crusade took it.
Burning Crusade. See,
she says Burning Crusade, but I didn't start playing and okay, so and I can here's the timeline.
I'll say this: it all depends on when you came in. If you came in at the end of Burning Crusade and then hit Wrath is going to be your favorite expansion because that's really the one that you played the most time in.
Before she was.
I actually here. Let me blow your fucking mind. Then I came in towards the middle of Wrath of the Lich King. I started playing right after the actual Wrath of the Lich King raid went live. It was within a month roughly of that raid going live.
And I'm trying to remember the exact dates. Vanguard launched in January of 2006, which was right around the time of EverQuest 2. Like I think EverQuest 2 came out in 2005. Then in April of 2006, Lord of the Rings Online came out, and like half of the people that I was playing Vanguard with left and went to play Lord of the Rings Online. And then later that year is when Wrath of the Lich King launched, and I did not have a max level character until probably April or May of 2007 was when but I was playing in Burning Crusade. I just never rated or reached max level. I was exploring the world for the first time. But Wrath of the Lich King was my favorite. I would say that and it's because of some of the lore elements that went on, because I played the Warcraft RTS games So I got to see the conclusion of a lot of storylines that I was really, really familiar with, like Arthas killing his father, becoming the Lich King, going to Northrend. When you're playing through Wrath of the Lich King, you get to see the cavern where he finds Frostmourne, and there's a little bit of the there's a little quest dialogue where you can see, you know, him. He knocks Brand Bronzebeard out, and you get to experience that all again. And so it was just nostalgia, but I thought that they really connected their world very well in that expansion. And
But
Burning
they did that.
Crusade.
I was gonna say, but Burning Crusade was the same game there. Warcraft 3. I mean, you have Illidan from being starting off in that game. Then
I didn't play. I didn't play Burning Crusade, like I just said. Like
that's right.
What
I know,
did
but
you say?
But I didn't play. I played in Burning Crusade, but I didn't have a max level character in Burning Crusade. So, of course, I'm going to be tainted a little bit because Wrath of the Lich King was my first real expansion. But even since then, I would say that it holds up very well against the rest. Like, I would say Wrath of the Lich King, then Mists of Pandaria, then Burning Crusade.
Now, I will say this, though. They did a great job with Wrath in the sense that Arthas showed up. Like, from, like, the first dungeon you were in, like, Arthas was a mate. Like, you knew he was the bad guy. He showed up even in, like, the middle of quests and stuff like that to thwart you or to push you, you know. Like, so it made wanting to kill Arthas at the end of the game that, like, you wanted it, like, because you kept seeing him pop up, where Illidan, all you knew is that he watched you down from the Black Temple, and that didn't really happen until the end of Burning Crusade. Like, so I feel like that's where I can see, like, if you're a WoW player, and I played all the RTS as well, from Orcs and Humans all the way up to Warcraft 3 and the Frozen Throne expansion for Warcraft 3. So, like, lore-wise,
I should point out that I was doing a little bit of research for the show, and I was going back and looking at Warcraft 3, and there's a lot of things about Warcraft that this happened in Warcraft 3, and I'm like, I know that it's been like 10 years. I don't remember this. I'm like, I don't remember this, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't remember it until I realized that I never owned the Frozen Throne expansion. I played through the original Warcraft 3 RTS until the very end, but I never played the expansion, so I don't know anything that happened in the expansion. I'm like, why don't I remember that? And that's why.
And I didn't play any of them because I was not a computer gamer back then, and I mean, 10 years ago, I was a console gamer, and it's only been the last roughly 8-10 years that I started playing computers. So
that's fine. That RTS holds up. Like, if you went and bought a copy of it and played it,
almost did.
I can't find my. I found my Frozen Throne expansion. I can't find my regular. I was gonna install it and play through it.
No. It's on my list. So I have this short list of things that I want to buy, and all of the RTS Warcraft games are on the list.
And you want to know why I didn't buy it? As we were talking at the beginning of the show about the Blizzard launcher, the reason I didn't buy it is because it's not integrated into the Blizzard launcher yet.
Yeah, right. But it's going to be, from what I understand.
No word on it. But that's what I don't want to have a different, like.
No, I thought it was. No, I thought. Are you sure? Because I thought they said they were going to start integrating their older games into the launcher.
They're going to, but they haven't been successfully integrated.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how fast they're working on that, or, you know, but that's where, you know, like I was talking about, like, I think that is a great feature for games to have, and like I want to have one launcher. I want to be able to open up the Blizzard launcher, and then if I want to play a little you know, Warcraft 3 or Warcraft 2, I want them all right there. And anyway, that's why I didn't.
I heard. I was gonna say real quick. I heard someone remade Warcraft 3 using the StarCraft 2 engine. If you go to games in StarCraft 2, like game modes and like the
but does
multiplayer,
it have all the cutscene? Does it have the cutscenes and everything?
That I cannot tell you, and I doubt there is.
Again, okay, so that is one of the reasons to play Warcraft 3. Is because the cutscenes are beautifully done. Like, I can remember, like, I went and bought the Warcraft 3 collector's edition specifically so that when Arthas returns to Lordaeron with Frostmourne and he kills his father. Like, that scene from the game is just so like epic with the music, and it's just like, it's worth having. It's worth owning that type of thing.
And I was going to say the other thing that I want to eventually get my grubby little hands on is a sealed collector's edition of the Burning Crusade. One day it will be mine.
So, we've talked a lot about other expansions. Warlords of Draenor was really supposed to be what
yeah, let's focus on that real quick.
Yeah, sorry guys. I just meant to know. I didn't realize it was going to turn into it. I apologize.
Yeah.
Okay.
So here's one of my criticisms of Warlords of Draenor. The world of Azeroth, where World of Warcraft has this huge, full depth of lore with interesting characters and interesting concept and good villain. I don't mean good villains in the sense that they're good, but they're villains that have character and personality, and they come across as very, epic. They have that feel about them. And so when Warlords of Draenor came out and they released this expansion, it was like, nobody cares about this. Nobody cares about this expansion from a lore point of view. And it's actually one of our complaints is that you have to actually go outside of the game to read and find out what happened. One of my favorite characters from Mists of Pandaria was Wrathion, the Black Prince, who is the son of Deathwing. And it's really cool at the end of Mists of Pandaria because he just goes off and he's really pissed off because he wanted the Alliance to defeat the Horde so that the races and the powers of Azeroth was under one banner, because everybody on Azeroth knows the Legion will return. It's not a secret. And Wrathion wanted to prepare the Azeroth peoples for that. And he didn't, because Varian was showed mercy towards the Horde and didn't continue that war. That's cool. But what you don't know in the game, you have to read outside of the game, is that Wrathion is the person who busted Garrosh out, and he conspired with the Bronze Dragonflight to take Garrosh back in time to prevent the orcs from getting tainted with the demon blood to begin with. That's actually a really cool point of view. That's a cool story, but it is so not an expansion's worth of. Nobody cares. No, I mean, I don't. I'm like, it's cool and all, but I don't think that it's not a full expansion.
And just to let you know, his Wrathion's idea being that he would unite the Iron Horde together to take on the Legion. Like, that would have been the army he chose, because he didn't think that the Alliance or Horde could actually put aside their differences to fight the oncoming Legion. So still not the best.
It's sad because he's kind of one of my favorite characters so far with NPCs.
I love.
Like, I have. Like, Nerd Crush is probably the wrong way to term it for a fictional character. But, dude.
What do you.
Wrathion. I don't give a shit that they're fictional characters.
There's some flash fic for you.
Them my favorites.
There's some fanfic for you.
No. No. Because I made the mistake when you and I were discussing the whole, like, Wrathion thing recently. Like, I Googled Wrathion and Anduin. Don't ever Oh my god,
okay.
Oh my god, no.
So I thought I will say, from a lore point of view, that the trailer videos that they did before the launch of Warlords of Draenor, where they did like the animated the Clans of the Iron Horde video, was actually pretty cool. Because from the RTS days, you don't really have a sense of the individual identities of the clans, because the clans show up and the only difference is that this peon's wearing a blue shirt and this peon's wearing a red shirt, and that therefore they're different clans. But with those videos, you really see the difference between like the Laughing Skull and the Frost Wolf, and you know, it really it was really cool seeing that. it just wasn't a full expansion worth of interest.
No,
So-
it almost felt like it wasn't a full expansion, and it almost felt like they wanted to have this expansion for two reasons. One, I don't know if they needed time to finish Legion. Like they had this already planned.
No. I am almost sure that they were like, well, we don't have a full expansion, and it's been a year. We need to get something out. Here it is. Here, and they're like,
here it is, guys.
That bought us another year of time before we can do what the expansion that we really wanted to do, which was Legion. And I am totally on board with that. I think that's an okay thing to do because it really gives us a year of content to kind of examine and see. I have a problem with the fact that they threw the expansion label on top of it and the full expansion price tag on top of it. I don't like that. So, as we were talking about dungeons earlier, one of the mistakes of Warlords of Draenor is that the dungeons, even heroic mode dungeons, were irrelevant after the first month or so of the expansion. And the reason I say that they made them irrelevant is because, sure, they were repetitious. They've always been repetitious. But there was a reason for you to repeat running through them on Wrath of the Lich King and Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria. And that was because you needed your Justice and Valor points, because those points were always valuable to have, even if you weren't running the content of the dungeons for the gear or for the experience points. You were trying to get the points so that you could upgrade your gear or get new gear. Warlords of Draenor, they completely removed that. So as soon as you could get better gear doing garrison missions or LFR, there's no reason to go into those dungeons again. I'll take it back. Unless you want to work on the achievements for the meta, so that you could get the hero of whatever, so that you could get the flying mount that they've done all the time. Hey guys, do you think the audience understands that what I mean by the meta achievement?
It depends on how many people here play WoW, but you may as well just explain it just in case, because if there's that one person that doesn't understand, it doesn't hurt.
If you run a dungeon and you do a specific activity inside that dungeon, which is not part of running that dungeon on the normal level, maybe it's like killing the boss in a specific way or getting the boss to perform an action that he doesn't normally perform, then you can get an achievement for doing that. And in each of the dungeons, there's like maybe 2, maybe 3 of these achievements that, you get them for doing things a little bit different than you normally would. When you get all of them in that expansion's heroic dungeons, normally what Warcraft does is they get, well, I say normally, they've done it in every expansion after the Burning Crusade. They give you a meta achievement, and with that meta achievement is a mount. So it's like you get these 20 individual amounts. When you get all 20 of them, you get another achievement, and that achievement gives you the mount.
And I don't think I have a single meta achievement for a mount.
I've got them all.
Shut up.
Well, no, I don't have. I'm missing some of them I'm missing some of the ones from Mists of Pandaria raids, and I haven't done any of them in Warlords of Draenor because
Warlords. I don't even know what the mount is for the meta in Warlords.
It's normally a red something or other in
is it Drake or
well in
the red something or other?
No, a red Drake, right. But I think that that Warlords of Draenor was their first departure from the red. In Wrath of the Lich King, it was the red Proto Drake. In Cataclysm, it was the red something or other Drake. I don't know.
Drakes or something. Proto Drake, maybe.
I know that in Mists of Pandaria, it was the Crimson Oriental Dragon mount.
Yeah.
So, that's normally what they do, and they didn't. Well, they did, but in Warlords of Draenor, it's a different type of red something or other, or it's not red. I forget. So,
Prophet may be right. I think it is a boar. Yeah, Warlord of Draenor is a boar. I think. There's more boar mounts in this expansion than any other one. There's so many boar. Like I can
And
count
they're
things
so
like.
boring.
Ha 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 ha.
But
I'm not sorry.
so I did not mind that they made running dungeons over and over part of the game experience, because it made helping new players out really easy. Your guys' thoughts? Because I'm just saying that they made dungeons irrelevant, and I think that was a huge mistake for Warlords. What do you guys think?
Sorry. No, I agree with you. I think they made them irrelevant. I think but it started all the way back in what was it, Mist of Pandaria. Like, as much as I like that expansion, there wasn't any more. Like, once you did all the dungeons and you did them enough times, that was it. It was over. They didn't add any more. I mean, but I will give them this: the story. There was story involved. Like, you went through and the story was wrapped in through some of the dungeons, and it felt great. Like when you did Stormshout Brewery, that was like you felt like it was like it felt good to go in there because you felt like it was from the quest you did outside to help with the crazy rabbits and everything that brought in the game. It added a little humor. It was great. It was colorful. Like the dungeons really like. It was all out. Like the parts of it were outside. Like I felt fun to do Stormshout Brewery, where if you go into Draenor, like I said, the Grimrail Depot.
There are like
Monsters.
Yeah, Grimrail Depot is probably the cool. Like as much as it is from point A to point B, like I was telling Tannlin, it is very. It is a lot of fun. Like I think it's cool. I think it was different for a dungeon.
Really?
I
hated it. I've never completed that dungeon. I had never completed that dungeon on normal. I hate it.
I don't know if you're gonna like the big. I don't know if you're gonna like the ghost ship. It's coming in Legion.
Nope. As soon as they said it's like Grimrail Depot, I was like, fuck.
But see, the thing is that even when you were running dungeons in Mist of Pandaria, at least you had that like injustice points that you got for running it, and like even if the gear that you could get with your justice points didn't amount to anything, you could still upgrade your heirlooms with them, which we find was really important to do because Warlords of Draenor.
I will say it like this: I don't think it was besides the garrison. That was terrible. But I won't say.
Well, we haven't even talked about the garrison.
Oh no, yeah, we should head on that.
Garrison.
I didn't. Oh no, we won't. I will say this. Well, you know what? We'll talk about the garrison. We'll talk about the garrison, and then I will say what I need to say because I think it ties in. Actually, I'll say it now. Then we'll talk about the garrison because I think it ties in. I think really what strikes Warlords of Draenor with a lot of the players, people in chat. If you played Warlords of Draenor, you'll probably agree with me. Is that beautiful? Yes. Draenor is gorgeous. The different zones varied. You had. I think it's not beautiful like Pandaria, but it's still one of their prettier lands. Like it's not burning. Like I didn't feel like Outland was cool looking, but I don't think it was like. I still think like was it some of the areas were like a little too muddy and flat for me. Like I think Draenor had more of color in some of the place zones.
The Alliance starting zone chat.
Yeah, I would say that if you play
the Alliance side.
If you play Alliance side, it's a much better visual experience.
Game.
Because
Horde, it's all the same shit, different expansion.
Yeah.
Look at all of this spiky and the skulls and the red and the blood and the drippy and the orcs. Oh my.
We'll make that point in Legion because I'm a little excited about Legion and the art style for Legion. So yeah. But what I was gonna say that the content in Draenor wasn't there, and it was such on point that there was no content in Draenor that they gave you a fucking garrison to do all your shit in. Because it's like, well, there's nothing in the world, might as well just keep them in one spot so they can do all their stuff. Because there was nothing in the world to go see other than killing rare mobs and finding the treasures, which isn't that great because the treasures weren't that great. It's like, oh, what did you get in that treasure? Oh, I got 10 garrison fucking crates, so now I can go back to my damn garrison and go spend another hour in that thing. So that leads into garrisons, because clearly I don't like them. Tannlin?
Really, really quickly, let me just interject one thing.
I will be so glad when we're done talking about this one.
Tannlin bitches about the garrisons a lot. I mean, even out of, like on the show, trust me, he bitches about them a lot. I would like to point out that had it not have been for the garrisons, we would not have our accounts paid for through November and paid for a couple of friends to play for a month. So, sure, the garrisons suck. You guys don't like them. And at the same time, my account is paid for through November. I don't give a shit how bad it sucked. That was a gold mine.
I'm bringing it up. People briefly saw the spreadsheet, and here's what I don't like about garrisons. She's right. I have a lot. I like leveling alt characters. I have a lot of them by now. I have alt characters that through just running garrisons, they've never run a dungeon, they've never run a raid in this expansion at all whatsoever, and they're better geared than some of my friends that I'm raiding with one day a week. And I have a huge, it's like, why bother? I have warriors and I have monks that are geared better than my friends that I literally leveled them to 100 and they've never left their garrison after they hit level 100. And the reason that I keep them in their garrison is because there is so much gold in running garrison missions that she's right. I paid for so much game time. And here's a little quick preview of the spreadsheet that I had to create to keep up with it.
Ooh, the ominous.
Because Tannlin does spreadsheets. Anyway, that's my chief complaint from garrisons is that because they made every player so powerful in relation to what they could do on their own with the help of their friends. Extremely powerful. They could create epic gear. They could get epic gear. They could just one player by themselves. It really cut out the social community aspect of it, because if you wanted to play on your own, you could really get very far. And I didn't like that. I would rather have my friends running around in the world. I would rather run into strangers in capital cities and like, wow, look at that transmog set. Oh, where did you get that mount? I haven't seen it before. You know, those type of experiences are totally, you can't get them if you're sitting around in your garrison the whole time.
You can't, you're right. You really can't. Now, granted, it is a money make. You explained to me how to make the money, so I got to work on that because I currently paid for 1 month and I don't have the money. And I would like to not pay for WoW as much as I can.
I tell you, if you've got 1 month, you just make a level 1 character on Feathermoon, and I'll send you enough gold to buy WoW token, and bam, pay.
Oh, perfect. That'd give me enough time to like go ahead and get it, try to set it up. So
And I had my guildmates and I were talking like, are they gonna get rid of garrisons after this expansion? Because of how powerful they are in simply just generating gold in the economy. And I had a realization as I was like going over in my head, like the way that Warcraft has integrated garrisons so heavily into the expansion, they can't pull garrisons out of that expansion. And so if you're leveling through the expansion, you know, if you're leveling from 90 to 100, you have to have your garrison. It's an integral part of the experience. And that means they can never remove it, which means that I will never pay my Warcraft subscription ever again.
Unless they change it to where you can no longer do gold quests. And then you're screwed.
I don't think they would. And even if they take out the gold quests, then you can still like sell the things that you get from just running the missions.
And even then, I mean, like, you know, farming a raid that you're overpowered for, it doesn't take much time. You could probably do it in about 6 to 12 minutes, depending on the raid, and then gather all. Like, I did the math. Like, even if I do Firelands on all my tunes, if I max them all, even on 4 tunes, that's 4K a week. Like, no, even more. That's more like maybe 9K per tune after selling everything and auctioning anything off, or like that's BOE. So, I mean, do that a couple times and bam. Also, what's big right now? I don't want to let the secret out, but I'm just gonna say like transmog gear. Like a lot of people, like since there's so many people that are not paying for out but still want to play at level 20, a lot of people are paying a lot of money sometimes if they drop money for a month on just sitting their character at level 20. So if you're running some older dungeons that are really easy to run, you could probably pick up some gear and sell that for a high dollar amount.
Oh, I farm pets and sell them pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. She does. So we only have a couple of minutes left before we're actually going to take a break on the show. I made the mistake. We only have a 2.5 minute video. Hold on. Yeah, it's like just under 3 minutes. I didn't have the other one loaded up. If somebody wants to send that to me through TeamSpeak, I will have it.
I will send it to you right now.
TeamSpeak, not Skype.
No problem.
And so, final thoughts on Warlords of Draenor. When we come back, we'll talk about World of Warcraft Legion. Guys, a couple minutes.
The final thought is Warlords is a full expansion, so it's really hard to judge it. I actually enjoy garrisons, despite the fact that I could get essentially real gear out of it. Kind of like the boats, but they were super disappointing because I was really like, oh my god, can I finally sail my? Oh, I can't sail my boat. That's like, I kind of like that I walk around my garrison and the NPCs actually will like facially follow you. That they will like watch you move. I thought that was kind of neat, and I'm sorry, but getting called commander is kind of nice. but I am easy to please. So hey.
Oh, my final thought? Oh, man, this expansion's I don't know. We go for me.
I am. Here's my final thoughts. I am normally a completionist. Like, I want to complete and do all of the things. I haven't done any of that normal stuff that I would do for Warlords of Draenor. I'm like, I'd rather level in alt. I'm serious. Like, I would rather be leveling in alt. Before BlizzCon this year, I want one class at max level for each side, for each faction, for Horde and Alliance. So that's 22 max level characters. I'm on 9 right now. But I will say this, once I hit that 22, 23, 24, 25 are going to go like... So I'm thinking like it'll be 30 by BlizzCon, and then I want like 40 or more before the start of Legion. When Legion launches, I'm going to go back to having just one main character, and that's it. No, I will. I want to be involved in the raiding experience again. I just don't want to do it in Warlords of Draenor because I don't care.
All right, you heard it here first, folks. 40 characters at the launch of Legion. Wait, do you want to max it out at 50? Like, do you want like?
That was my goal, but the reason why I went back on that is because there's different methods of playing the game. There's the Iron Man challenge. So I want to do one character is the Iron Man challenge, which I've attempted before, and I failed. I don't want to get into it. And then the number 2 thing I want to do is there's the Gandhi challenge, which is to level from 0 to 100 without killing anything.
I think I know where you could do that. I know.
Well, there's 2 things that you can do to do it. That you can do battle pets and you can do harvesting.
No, because you kill the battle pets and
right. But so what happens is you just open up your statistics page on your Warcraft Armory page, and it'll say like total kills. The idea is to get to level 100 with 0 showing. And I'm not going to do the battle pet method. I'm going to take the harvesting method. It's basically you pick a druid that has the fight form, and you pick up herbalism, and you make it a Tauren because Tauren get the bonus to, fast harvesting, and you just fly around harvesting and stuff. But I
don't have the patience for that one. Iron Man challenge, I probably have the patience for, but not for that.
That is why I'm waiting until the very end to do those 2, the Iron Man challenge and the Gandhi-esque challenge, because I'm just gonna fly through levels.
Boost a character, then you only got 10 levels to go.
Well, I got one level 90 boost when I bought Warlords of Draenor, and that's one of my shaman. And I probably end up boosting another character because I'm gonna get one when I buy Legion.
We know we
Yeah,
like
we
this
totally
topic.
said break like 4 minutes
Like 4
ago,
minutes
so,
ago. We did.
Well, it's only 2 minutes after 6.
All right, guys. I will. I don't know what order we're gonna play this. Do we know what order? Are we gonna do my video first and then follow up?
No, we'll do the Legion one, and then we'll do the
All right, so we're gonna do the Legion video that they showed at Gamescom in Cologne, Germany. We're gonna show you that video first, and then we're gonna show you a video that's very, very old. It's an old Warcraft video, but it's super funny if you haven't seen it. It's going back to the BC days. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but totally stick around. If you haven't watched it in a while, it's still funny. I thought about it, and it still gave me that chuckle that I like to have every once in a while when I want to watch it. So stick around, watch the breaks. We'll be right back, and we will be talking Legion next on the Evercast show, and I will camp us out because we still do that here. So camping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and see you in about 10 minutes.